Dow's over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader.
We're on the Moontrain!
This is how you become a day trader.
Welcome to the stock market next week, if you know what I'm saying. So, first of all, congrats on nailing that move on Friday. Absolutely epic. And if you weren't there, obviously, we were early on hitting the upper phantoms of this reversal spot we wanted, and we came down all the way here. The last ghost hit at the top of this candle, and we were able to feel here the extreme fear. And due to monitoring how the IV plays in this market, instead of going out of the money like a lot of schmucks, we learned from last week, because that's what we did. So this week we came prepared and we bought in the money for Tuesday. So I'm in really fat 647s for Tuesday, and thankfully pretty close to the money 655s, and did not buy Monday but bought Tuesday in the money, and hopefully both strikes will be in the money. Now, obviously, because it's a news-driven, bogus market, anything can happen. Overall view, and let me show you. We hit some targets that we had. We hit that target that we have. We have a few targets here, still to the downside this year. This one could hit. I don't know if this one down here hits. Obviously, if this hits either in June or November, you need to buy the shit out of it. So I got both spots as alerts. I mean, I got plenty of spots here. And to the upside, if this holds, I would think that we're pretty much going to work ourselves up from here, with the caveat that we might be completely following Double J's overlay. Sometimes those work, sometimes they don't. We sure have enough shit show ingredients for it to work. And what I mean here is Dow Jones, SPX tracking this Dow Jones pattern here. Okay, see this? This would have been Friday. That means Monday, Tuesday should be green, with a complete retrace back to there. And we kind of have to take it day by day here, because if in fact we are still looking at a big crash, and why do I say if? Let's be real here. You don't send all this military to the Middle East and then say, hey, we might be winding down. Meanwhile, Iran has bombed Dimona today, which is a huge fucking escalation. Okay, so when you have to have the president come out and say, hey, according to CNN's poll, there's 100% support behind this war. I mean, what? So again, just like in 2020 into the Biden presidency, they're flipping the narrative right now. It's pretty crazy to see. Anyways, hopefully everybody stays out of harm's way. But if this happens, you are going to get a massive hyperinflation shock. And again, this is this here was the COVID playbook. It looks like they're doing it again far earlier than needed. Why do they need to do that? You're at $39 trillion in debt, so you have this huge machinery running. You're trying to position yourself for the next stage of humanity, and you need as many tokens as you can get your hand on. Therefore, you have wars supposedly coming in, unless the other faction of the Fed keeps Powell in there, which is completely up to this investigation, which signals to you that if this investigation happens, Wars is not gonna get in there. So at this point in time, well played by Powell and his team. Trump will need to drop that investigation to get Wars in there, because none of these Truth Social posts that Powell has happened, and the fact that you're falling out of the sky due to a war and you say, I don't understand, how could no one cut right now, is pretty crazy. ECB signaling that they will most likely hike, and that was not in the cards. So these inflation reports coming up will undoubtedly put pressure on the market going forward this spring, this summer. This is why I'm calling for a June shit of the bed, and that is still my overall thesis, that you need that crash to happen in June, because then you gotta still try to protect the system and get the cockroaches to think that their fucking vote matters at all, right? So you gotta get them engaged. If they're not engaged, the system loses all its power. And then you have a real issue, okay? So they're not gonna let that happen. They're gonna keep playing identity politics. So I do think that Monday, Tuesday, most likely green. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, again, this whole fucking year have been kind of shit. So we gotta look for that. And you still have all those ships in the Gulf. A lot of places are running out of fuel already. Airline, like, this could be a absolute clusterfuck, and threatening to take Greenland if NATO doesn't come in to help. This needs to be sorted out ASAP, and you're seeing top officials starting to say, hey, time to nuke them because we gotta end this, right? So this is getting pretty ridiculous at this point. So this, prepare for this. And how do you do that? Well, we watch Monday, Tuesday green, then we're gonna be chill. You should get some consolidation, then you should get one fake out pop, and it's actually that one you want to get. Timing something like this, if this tracks, is unnecessary. If you get a big pop here and you come back to somewhere here but you can't get through, that's your signal to take some long puts, right? But here's the thing, you have to prepare for it not to happen. That's where it gets tricky on the mind. So let's say we come back here and we start flagging. That can happen. If this does not happen, the squeeze that happens instead is going to be like $20 candles on SPY. So you saw me this week, a lot of hedging, a lot of protecting of the position. Why? Because you saw two news scandals fire off this week. You saw AIBB with his bullshit, and then you saw this Trump tweet that came in right at the end of MOPEX to save the market. Some vague bullshit we're thinking about fucking winding down. Meanwhile, you got boots shipping out. So like, you gotta take it for what it is. Okay, thankfully for us short term, well, now it's coming down a little bit. This is still hanging out here, so I'll be looking at this is actually pretty volatile here. I'll be looking at this come Sunday night. If they can hold it under here, the market can go higher, but this could as easily just fucking squeeze. They know it, so they had to kind of pump the markets. If the narrative is shit, watch out. Now we have something I have never seen before. I'm gonna read it out loud for you right now. Posted it in the Full Moon Circle. Monday early low. If it's a strong day, should have a high in the final hour. Tuesday early low with a possible trend change alert. Wednesday early high. Thursday early high with a possible trend change alert. Friday early low with a possible trend change alert. So I have 3 trend change alerts ready for next week. My main one hasn't fired, but I've never ever in 10 years seen 3. So expect massive volatility and shakeout. Now what does that remind you of at the same time? Well, let's go over to our friend Dow Jones again. And I've been talking about this unpinning of the volatility. So just because this happened here right now, right, doesn't mean we can't get some bullshit like this all over the place. And if that happens, you're at a huge inflection point. Now I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I know that the final resolution of the seek and destroy candles are going to be up or down. What we're gonna have to do is react. Okay, you have to react. The longer you can wait, the more targets we can hit, the smarter we get. But because we've been going down here, unless it's a total shit of the bed, which can still happen, there's no reason to get in early, right? There's no reason, because at the end of the day, you still have dark pool falling off the face of everything. So could this be a real bottom? No, this is not like the bottom. It could be a short-term bottom where you know slowly retrace back to here or here. The faster we get out of here, the better, and we can start chopping at a level. But again, let's revisit short-term. Back to Wednesday, the announcement candle, and I'm just gonna show it here to you so that you know. Let's go to Wednesday. I think it was 7 my time. No, here. The first candle is green. So that means that how much you traded below the FOMC price down, you will trade up eventually. Okay, so right now you got $20 down. You went from 666 to you don't have to count the whole week, but let's settle on 646, right? There, candle close. Okay. So that means you should trade to our old friend, ding, 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 686, right? And you know how horrible this is to get through. And I totally think that is possible. How fast? Could take some time. But let's say you invert head and shoulders this. Shit goes good, you're over here, why not start a fucking rally, right? That is totally possible here, absolutely. At the same time, I've been talking about this Adam and Eve thing, this, okay? You closed under it, you need to absolutely open above these levels come Monday, and you need to straight push. Okay, otherwise it's not gonna be good. What else did I keep hammering home to you? I said we need that volume spike over 150 million. We got that on Friday. So there's a really good chance that that indeed was the bottom, and the way we reacted, you probably couldn't have reacted better in stock trading, options trading. I kept saying all week that the IV is completely fucked. Obviously rode those 3 batches of puts down from 674, 663 and then 652, all paid over 200% each, and then hit that low with conviction at extreme fear. A perfect example again of buying the fear, paying. Could have held the SPX a little longer, but again, you pierce the Bollinger Band, you're under the 200 here. Next is to go and backtest not only the daily 200, but get over this old FOMC target, and then go and backtest the FOMC target. And every time, next time we come to 666, do know that if you're in long, you gotta get the fuck out. Okay, so again, because this is such a volatile time and a lot of narratives going on, I'm probably gonna pass on playing a bunch of individuals this week and focus on getting me some money and not getting fucked. This would have been nice. MU obviously paid 500% on the IV flush, and that alone could have been enough, right? This move, that was a 500% move on the premium. It's pretty crazy, right? But looks like a lot of these names are resetting here. Let's take a look at the IV, not the IV, the NAMO and NIMO. This one obviously will have bounced from here, put in a higher low. I guess that's good enough for a bottom. The breadth is absolute dog shit. The NAMO, however, funny enough, see if it wants to reload here. This is pretty crazy. They keep just slapping back and forth. Why can't this change? Come on. As you can see here, this is probably a short-term bottom. It does not want to go further down. It can, however, nuke at any point in time. So we got to take those 3 trend change possibilities with some degree of seriousness, because again, they can easily print. So what are we looking at? Well, to the upside, I would think that you could this week get to 666 if they don't shit the bed. And the best case scenario you have is that it happens like end of day Tuesday, since Monday and Tuesday have kind of been like bullish for the narrative, and then they take care of the rest of the shit the next 5 days. If we open over 650, 654 for Monday, it's the target. If we happen to open over here, we should work ourselves up to here, and then Tuesday go higher. That's if this shit holds. Okay, we're absolutely at the mercy of news. And here you see these OPEX move. They clearly came into Apple, so they intend to be using a lot of Apple this quarter. Nvidia a little bit, not so much. They went to fill this last gap on Meta. Once this market actually shits, Meta is going to be a great buy at 550 or 500. Probably gets to 500 because when the market sells, this really likes to sell. Furthermore, you have yourself a nice ghost here on JPM. You also had plenty of ghosts on SPY. I'll post that in the ghost candles, but you had SPY all over the place. Actually, let me just show it to you right now. Here, you see this shit. So, are these prints? Let's find out. What is that? Let's find out. you basically need over 565 on Monday. So if they're smart, they chill a little bit, pump the market. We still have 637 as a ghost underneath, and if we sell this week, 637 right there is a FOMC target and my target by the dip. Okay, and that's why I'm putting this out there, is if the sell happens, don't be buying anything until you hit here. And obviously if you catch a move from 637 to 666, great. If you catch a move from here into 666, great, then we reevaluate. Okay, but those two are targets, up and downside as of right now, short term, so you don't have to remember too much info and data. Now the closing GEX look like this. You might be stuck in this range for Monday. Very interesting net flow here. This end of day pump, a kind of a bullshitty, obviously a completely crazy move. Now Monday, again, I have a hard time seeing that we just blast through this wall. You have that upside target there, sure, but you would need some more peace bullish news to even get up here. Otherwise you're probably just stuck at 655, which is the top position I have for Tuesday, right? So right now I think we are here. So from 655 you could technically get all the way up there on Monday, and if that, I'm probably getting completely out. Okay, and I might slap some out of the monies for Tuesday. But last time I checked, Tuesday looked horrific, which is why we have, and see here's SPY net flow though. So I think a lot of people might have been conned into buying a bunch of puts at the low. But anyways, last time I checked, Tuesday looked really crazy. Yep, still looks really fucking crazy. So when I mentioned 637 and you looked at me funny, this is the reason why. Otherwise you by Tuesday need to be over 660 and start going closer to that FOMC price. But Tuesday looks horrendous, and again, at this point in time, at any point in time, expect there to be a fucking tweet that sells SPY $12. If that happens, it'll fucking halt. That news would be some type of nuke action. I mean, real or not, expect the headline. You know what I mean? Because what else are they gonna fucking do? Wednesday though shows us that there's a chance that we are up here by Wednesday near the FOMC target, and that you're exactly here and you try to go there and it fails, and you come back down to here and this green gamma holds it. Okay, Thursday looks pretty bullish actually, and then Friday pick your poison. This would be fucking ace, and if that happens, that means that you will have completely mimic this. And if you completely mimic this and everybody's like, yeah, it's done fucking moon, that happens. That's what I think. I want to just take a peek then into the end of the month, see how they're positioned. Okay. This looks fucking crazy. This looks like they're gonna do the mega whipsaw. That's wild. Ooh. Yeah, I right now I'm starting to really think this is very possible. Anyways, We'll get more info on that. Let's just take a look here. Ding, 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 ding. A lot of dark pool prints. After hours, 658, huh? 658. That's where they sold. So we probably need to mark that spot. Those are some fucking huge sells right there and right there. So as of right now, I'm treating this bounce as just say the market repositioning, catch people off guard. I don't know how much legs this has. Hopefully it has as much as possible so I can make as much money as I can early on. Look out for that. Obviously Mercury retrograde ended, so Justin will let us know next time when to fucking buy puts. Can we get a full moon? Pump into the full moon? Yes, we can. With that said, guys, all hands on deck. You did really good. We did really good. Let's just get that money. Let's stay out of the chop. Let's read the narrative. Let's play the levels. Let's see what's happening under the hood. Ideally, you start seeing some serious buying right at open, because right now this looks pretty disgusting. But this is what you need for a bottom. So again, really happy how we called it. All right, guys, thank you very much. God bless you.
We're riding with the Moontrain.